So tonight we're talking about colon cancer and brain cancer because colon cancer is on the rise. And the brother, I know if you're looking at the program tonight, you know, brother, good luck to you. You know, I know you're fighting cancer in the brain. And from the time we are treating you, you are doing so well. You know, you can put a post on it to let people know how you're doing. And your tumor is not back. It's just not growing again because you're doing good things and you change your diet. So I want to thank you, brother from Canada. If you're looking at the program, give thanks and praise to the Most High for life. All right, because they make you feel that when you have a brain tumor, benign or malignant, that is going to come back. And when you come back, you have to go back and get all these operations. And if you keep certain parts of the body healthy, the tumors don't come back. All right, that's the key. The key is not letting the tumor come back. That's the reason why a diet change is so significant. All right, so we have to be very diligent in how we treat these cancers. All right, Brother Dan, you ready to go to the chat?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful, my brother. All right. So tonight's presentation is colon cancer and brain cancer, and we're going to try to teach you how it grows, how the cancer gets into the colon, how the cancer gets into the brain, and how you can treat these malignant tumors naturally with plants, and how you could prevent these conditions from happening. That's very significant. I always teach about prevention, you know. Everybody seen the chart, Claire?
Yes.
Wonderful. Blessed love. Give thanks to the Most High. All right. Now, if you look at the first chart, we have the first three charts on the screen. And the first one, again, is the colon. And I always talk about colon health. Colon health is very significant. And I said before that that part of the body is called the sewage system. That's where everything goes as waste. If the body cannot remove these waste from that particular organ, you can have troubles elsewhere, including the brain. All right. So that first chart where you see that colon, which is 5 feet long, like a U around your navel, that organ is very significant in keeping tumors away, not only from the other organ, but also from the brain. And if you do have a tumor in your brain, that particular organ is very significant in keeping the tumor from coming back or preventing tumors from coming back if you had a malignant or a benign tumor in the brain. All right. But first, we're going to talk about the cancers or the tumor that is found in the colon. All right. Now, if you look at the second chart, you're going to see the wall of the colon, and you're going to see cancer. That the cancer is growing on the walls of your colon, and the cancer can grow in different areas of the colon wall. It can grow in the ascending colon. It can grow in the transverse colon. The tumors can grow in the ascending colon or in the sigmoid colon. And usually what the doctor will do, if you go back to the first chart, you see if you have, go down to the bottom here, right? And over here, it's called sigmoid over here. Sigmoid colon right here, right there, right. If the cancer is there, the tumor is there, and it grows there, it is very difficult to cut the colon and join it back, because that part of the colon is so right down to the rectum or the anus. It is very difficult for the doctors to cut and join that part of the colon if there is cancer there. All right. And if you have rectal cancer also, it's very difficult. And these cancers, what they do when they're in that particular area, they affect the mucous membranes and cause the mucous membranes to produce lots of mucus. So you start seeing mucus in your stool or excessive amount of mucus in the colon wall or in the rectum. And that is telling you that the tumors are also secreting mucus. And we know that mucus is negative, all right? So once the cancer is in the sigmoid colon, it is more difficult to treat in terms of cutting and joining back the colon wall, or the colon itself, sorry. If you have the colon going up to the descending colon over here, what the doctors will do, if that colon is right around that area where you see the arrow is at, the doctor will cut between the tumor and the other part of the colon and join it back, transverse. If the colon is in the transverse colon, over here, right, with the arrow is at again, the doctors can also cut and join back that particular area if there is a tumor growing in there. That's what they do. Because they're surgeons, and a surgeon's job is to cut, not to repair naturally. So you cannot blame him. If you go back to the ascending colon over here, and you have a tumor growing there, then your doctors can cut and also join also. But it's very difficult to cut and join when you have a tumor in the sigmoid. And that is why colon cancer is so difficult to repair, because it is found in that area that I call the sewage system, where waste is at. Common sense will tell you if you have roaches in your sink, you know what I mean, and you're keeping dishes inside there all the time, the roaches won't go away at all, period. But if you spray with Baygon or what you put in, or you clean your sink out, you wash your dishes, the roaches go away. Right, so you have to keep that particular area healthy in order for the tumor not to grow. And if there's a tumor there, and you're trying to get rid of the tumor, you have to keep that part of the body clean on a regular basis. And the tumor will shrink long term using plants. We will tell you what they are. Right? Go back to the second chart, the wall of the colon. Now, if you look at the walls of the colon, you're going to see that there's two types of tumors. There's two sides of it. Now, tumor will grow, and they could grow to 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 centimeters. And the doctor will put his hands around your navel area, pressing his fingers around that area, and he can feel a tumor there if it's there. All right, that's number one. Number two, when you have cancer in that particular area, you get lots of bellyache. You have a lot of pain in the belly, in your intestines, and you might see if that's where the cancer is at. If the cancer is in the sigmoid, you might see blood in the stool. If the cancer is in the other parts of the colon area, you might have bloatedness, you might get pain, you might get indigestion, and the doctor might treat you for gas, or he may treat you for flatulence. And sometimes you don't have flatulence, you have cancer in your colon. So that's the reason why it is very significant for you to check yourself on a regular basis by taking your hands and putting some castor oil around your belly area, over your navel area, and you could take your fingers and massage or run around the area to feel for tumors if they're there. All right, and that's important. What you can also do is take your fingers, 4 fingers, and put it on different areas of the tummy or the belly, and take your other hands and tap that area. If there is pain, it could be problematic. You should go see your doctor. All right, let's go to the third chart. Right, now causes of cancer in the colon, and constipation is one of the main causes of it. If you're constipated and you're not moving waste out properly, it's common sense will tell you that you will have trouble in the colon long term, and cancer is one of them. So the main cause of cancer in the colon is constipation, and lots of people don't go to the bathroom in 3 days. They don't go, and I'm saying, and doctor says you that's okay, that's normal. That's not normal at all. You must go to the bathroom on a regular basis every day if you're eating food 3 times per day. That's common sense. All right, you must eliminate waste from the earth. All right, so constipation is one of the main cause, or is the main cause of colon cancer. The next cause of it is Crohn's disease, and we had a program on bowel disorders a couple of days ago on Crohn's disease, and those are conditions of the colon that cause inflammation, and again, inflammation caused by irritation, and that causes you to get cancer also. Ulcerative colitis, you have an ulcer in the colon walls, that can also aggravate the lining of the colon if there is not enough glutamine in the diet, and the wall become weak, and you could get cancer from ulcerative colitis too, because the ulcers is so in your belly. All right, if you have the pylori bacteria, and that could also cause you to have cancer in the stomach too, in the digestive system, the pylori bacteria. So always check your doctor for a test to see if you have the pylori bacteria, especially if you have trouble with acid reflux and any kind of digestive disorder. That's very significant, especially ulcers. All right, because they could turn to cancer too. Duodenum ulcers, and that is the beginning of the small intestines. And usually, if you have ulcers there because of the pH that changes from alkaline to acid, and cause you to have ulcers there because acid causes ulcers. They can't do that. That's a fact. If there's ulcers in the duodenum and it changes the pH of that particular area, you can get ulcers there because the pH is supposed to be alkaline. And once the alkaline pH changes from, let's say, 7.45 to 5.0, you can get an ulcer. An ulcer that could cause cancer there too. All right, those are a few causes of colon cancer. And if you have a genetic predisposition, meaning that your mother, father, or uncle or grandfather had it, and you eat the same way like they did, you can also get colon cancer. Right? Go to the second chart, colon. Now, if you look at the second chart, you're going to see that down in the bottom, go into the sigmoid colon. That's where lots of tumors grow. And why do they grow in that particular area? Because lots of people don't squat. All right? We're going to show you a tool that you can use to squat when you're in the bathroom. Now, when you don't squat, when you're in the bathroom, because as I always say to people, Dan, the worst invention of the white man is the toilet bowl. Don't forget that. I told you that. And the reason why, because what he did when he invented that toilet bowl, he didn't teach us how to use the toilet bowl properly. So he told us we have to put our feet on the ground while we're sitting on the toilet bowl. But that's not the right way. While you are on the toilet bowl, you have to put a 1-foot stool in front of the toilet bowl. And once your feet is elevated, this part of the way have to circle around that sigmoid colon right there. That part of the colon will relax. And once that part of the colon relaxes, then all the waste will move out. Put your feet on the ground without using a stool or squatting on the toilet bowl. You have waste matter, or you are squeezing your sigmoid colon. And what happens to you is lots of the waste stays in that particular area and seeps into the sigmoid and cause you to have polyps, which cause you long-term to get colon cancer. Okay? So always squat when you went to the bathroom. Next chart, second one. If you're looking at the normal colon, that's how your normal colon is supposed to look. That's how it is. That's how it's supposed to be. You see, when you have a good regular bowel movement on a regular basis, that's how your colon is supposed to look, clean like that. All right. Although it is called a sewage system, but you can never, you can never have waste sitting in that area, because it is a sewage system. And once you have waste sitting there for a long period of time, the heat that is created will also will invite bad bacteria, which cause you to have different troubles in the bowels or in your digestive system. All right. The third chart, that's colon cancer right there. So if you don't have good colon health, suffering from constipation, and you have all these bowel disorders, and you're not going to the bathroom on a regular basis, meaning that you're going to the bathroom 4 days per week, 4 days per week, 3 days per week, 2 days per week, once per month, once every 2 weeks. Once you are going to the bathroom once per week, once you are going to the bathroom 3 days per week, once you're going to the bathroom once per month, you are at risk of getting colon cancer long term. And not even colon cancer, but also liver cancer too, and brain cancer too, or brain tumors. That's a fact. They can't do that. All right? Because you are causing your sewage system to be stagnated. And once you have stagnation, you're going to have things that won't grow. That's common sense. It's common sense. You understand? If you have things moving, you don't get pain. If you have things, get pain. If you have waste sitting in your colon, you're going to get a tumor long term. All right? Or you're going to get some kind of bowel disorder long term. All right? So you must be able to move your bowels on a regular basis. And if you combine your foods properly, then you will be going to the bathroom 2 to 3 times per day. All right? That's what I go twice, 3 times per day, and I eat once per day. All right? Next chart, Dr. Dan. And that's what doctor will tell you. Let's look at the treatment for colon cancer. We're going to talk about back up. We're going to talk about Holy in a while, because Sister Rona going to ask us some questions about Holy Immune. Holy Immune, IP6. And IP6 is very significant. And I like to mix IP6 with glutathione and NAC. And remember, we said the last program we had, this presentation, we said that L-glutamine is important, because if you are deficient in L-glutamine, the walls of the colon become very weak and invites different bacteria, aldehyde, and all these chemicals that cause you to have troubles long term there. So L-glutamine is very significant in keeping your colon walls healthy. MCP means modified citrospectin. And what that does, and that comes from grapefruit skin, orange skin, and tangerine skin, all the citrus. And that's what they call it, modified citrus pectin. What it does, it uncoats cancer cells that is camouflaging as good cells. So if you have a cancer cell in your colon, and the cancer cell wants to move, and he wants to fool your immune system, he is going to put a coating on the cell, and he moves. And once he's moving into the blood, into the circulatory system, your immune system takes him for a good cell and let him pass. But the MCP uncoats him. And once the MCP uncoats him, it gives your immune system enough ammunition to kill the cancer cell. That's significant. They all come from nature. Sheep sorrel, very important. Sorrel, again, we call it hibiscus in the US. That's also good for colon cancer. Dandelion root to clean the liver, and burdock root. That's if you have colon cancer. And when you have colon cancer, don't forget, especially if you cut and join your colon, do not do any colonics. Don't forget that. If you have colon cancer, do not go to any colon therapist and do colonics, because it can move the cancer cells and cause them to get into the walls, into your bloodstream. Do not do any colonics once you find out that you have colon cancer. You can do enemas according to where the cancer is at. So if the cancer is in your, go back to the chart again, Brother Dan, back at the top. Right. If the cancer is in your sigmoid, do not do any enemas. If the cancer is in the transverse over here, you can do enemas, because the enema will wash just from the sigmoid up to the splenic flexure. But do not do enemas unless you are guided by a trained nurse or a doctor who is trained in colonics or enemas before you embark on doing an enema if you have colon cancer. Okay, wonderful. Go back to the next chart. All right, the next chart. Now look at the stages. In the medical system, they have stages of cancer. They have stage 1, they have stage 2, they have stage 3, and then they have metastasis of stage 4. Right? Now, if you look at the charts, you're going to see that stage 0 over here, there is no tumor there. You understand? Because you're keeping the colon well, or you're keeping your digestive system healthy. You go to stage 1, a tumor starts growing there. See, when a tumor starts to grow, it don't give you a problem. It might take 5 years before you get a symptom, but it's there. See? And go to stage 2 now. Stage 2, it grows a little bigger. And then you might have trouble with nauseated feeling, a little pain in your belly, and you might think it's just gas. And that's a sign that a tumor is in your belly. Okay? The next one is stage 3. When the cancer reaches that particular stage, now the tummy starts to get a little bigger because the tumor is there, and you start having more pain in the belly. If it's on the right side of the intestine, you're going to get pain there. If it's on the left side, you're going to get pain on the left side of the belly. But those are symptoms that something is wrong in your colon. Lots of pain, and the pain don't go away. And the doctor might treat you for gas, not knowing that there's a tumor growing in your intestines. Okay? Stage 4. Stage 4 is the tumor is now so big that it starts spreading to the other organs. Now you see in stage 1, the tumor spreads to the lymph nodes. That's in the transverse colon. And if you look at stage 3, it gone into the blood vessels, starting to carry the tumor of the cancer cells. Stage 4, once it leaves your colon, guess where it goes? Tell them that it goes after the colon. Once it leaves the earth, where it goes? Thank you. Once that cancer is in your colon and it gets to stage 4, it leaves the colon and it goes once it must go. Name the organ. Your liver. Hey, Dan, you're becoming a husband, brother. I'm trying. That's why you're going to need a man to learn the stuff in it. Yes, sir. That's right. So once the cancer is in the 4th stage, and the cancer leaves the colon, the first organ that cancer hits is your liver. And once it gets into your liver, you have more troubles because your liver have over 500 functions. And it disrupts the function of your liver. and it disrupts the function of the enzyme in the liver. And once the enzyme function is distorted, and the enzymes start to get higher in terms of numbers, ASE, SGPOT, alkaline phosphatase, your globulin factors, they all start to go haywire, you're going to have trouble because the cancer will leave there, and the next place it goes where? It goes into your lungs. That's where it goes. Because the lung is metal and the liver is wood. What cut wood? Metal. So once the cancer leaves the liver, it goes to the lungs. If the cancer is in the lungs, it goes to your liver, or it goes to your brain. So once you have that tumor growing in your belly, and you get into the fourth stage, it starts spreading to first the organs, and it goes straight into your liver. And if you get into the nodes, automatically in the nodes, it gets into the lymphatic system, and then you start to have swelling of your feet, swelling of your belly. All right? And that's the problem. You understand? That's how it works. All right? So then you have to try to prevent yourself from coming in with colon cancer and brain cancer. All right? And when you have colon cancer and it moves and gets to your liver and it goes to your lungs, the next place it goes is to your brain. And in order for you, the colon cancer patient, to remove the tumor from your colon and from your brain, you must keep what clean down? You must keep the colon clean, the earth clean, and you must keep the bloodstream clean from acid. And once the bloodstream is clean from acid, your tumor will start to shrink, because there are herbs that shrink tumors or have anti-tumor activity. We're going to tell you what they are now. Go to the next chart there. Look at them right there. GABA, L-theanine. I think it's L-T-H-E-A-I-N-E, so we spell that wrong. Thiamine, that thing is that's B1, but it's L-theanine, GABA, magnesium in the liquid form, capsule or powder, not in the tablets. So good for you. And don't forget, once you have brain tumor, a brain tumor in your brain, you must implement melatonin in your diet. Must. Milligrams every day. It is one of the best antioxidants for brain tumors. Because melatonin is found in the pineal gland, and that part of the endocrine system deals with the spiritual aspect of your life. So melatonin is very significant to take when you have a brain tumor or any kind of cancer. Angioblock. Angioblock means that we preventing angiogenesis. We are preventing the cancer from creating what? Blood vessels. Because for your cancer to grow, your cancer must create blood vessels to feed like your natural cells do. And if you keep on feeding your cancer cells junk, garbage, sugars on a regular basis, your cancer cells will start creating blood vessels. And once these vessels are created, your cancer cells will start to feed on these vessels, and your tumor will get bigger. But when you implement angioblock in your diet, when you have any type of tumor, the angioblock prevents angiogenesis. So it prevents the cancer cells from creating blood vessels. So what happens then? The tumor shrinks, because the cancer cells cannot create the blood vessels anymore, and they can't grow, because they can't feed. And that is what the medical system don't know yet. So they cut you open and take out this and take out that. But they don't teach you how to send the cells back to the resting place. They don't teach you how to have your what? Your transport system working properly. They don't teach you that. You know what I mean? Your transport system. You have to have your transport system working well. You cannot afford to let your free radicals steal your electrons. You're supposed to have a good electron transport system. Once you have your free radicals stealing an electron, they will become impaired. And once they become impaired, they will get lost. And once they get lost, they're going to end up in a part of the body where they don't belong, and you're going to get cancer there. Bottom line, red clover. Red clover have lots of anti-tumor activity. We shrink tumors with that particular herb. In the brain, in the lymph nodes, in the belly, in the uterus, in the cervix, Poriaco. One of the best herbs they're using, Brazil now for cancer. Doctors are using this particular herb now too. Although this particular herb is anti-fungal, we use it for women who have lots of yeast infections, but it have lots of anti-tumor activity, and it also keep the person's sugar levels down because cancer feeds on sugar. So what we do, we will put red clover, Poriaco. We will use them with dandelion root, Cascara sagrada. We will use another herb there called chaparral and danqui to move the blood. And once we could get the tumor to shrink by preventing angiogenesis, then you start to have better health. You start to get better. You start to go in remission. You can't go back. If you go back, you will die. That's why Christ said, when he healed the man, he said, do not go back. He said, don't go back. Because if you go back, a worse thing will fall on you. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's what I said to them. I said, don't go back to eat the same way. You go back eating the same way, you're going to get the same disease. That's our treatment for brain cancer. Simple. Simplicity, we call it. All you have to do is keep your bloodstream clean and keep the earth healthy and clean, and nothing can grow in your body. I don't care what them doctors to be them big specialists. You're right. The most important specialist to me is the Most High. I don't care about them people. That's right. That's right. The most important specialist to me is the Most High. Why? Because he taught us how to eat. He taught us how to eat the foods. He gave us a diet.